none of them are like you, and none of them are like each other. Right. Even though they will say what they like about the pen, what they don't like about the pen, and what you know, they'll go over the parts of the pen, show a writing sample. That's all. That part, you're all alike. Yeah. You say, oh, here's the pen, here's what's on the top, here's what you. That part is just basic information. What differentiates you all is what goes on in between all those comments. So you know why I like Fig Boot is because he kind of does his own little thing. He's more of a nerd head. No, I don't want to call him a nerd. Please don't say that. I mean, he's got more of an analytical kind of mind. So I kind of enjoy some of that. And some of these other guys, Penultimate Dave, who's my good friend, you know.
Yeah, Ultimate Dave's cool.
Yeah. He's a great reviewer. He does a great job. And you know what? You can't help but like listening to him speaking his little British accent.
Love the accent, man. Ultimate Dave rocks.
Yeah, he's like a James Bond on the pen reviewers. And then yeah. So and then of course there's Larry Baronis, who does his thing in his own way, and that's what makes you special about what you do. You know, whether you and there's no question that you're not going to be nothing but honest when you review a pen. So that's a good thing. When it comes to the Indian pens, to be frank with you, I've only bought one pen from Fountain Pen Revolutions. I bought it. I bought a pen wrap from them, a leather pen wrap, which I adore. That was the best pen wrap I've ever bought. Leather, wonderful. The pen I bought, I wasn't crazy about. It was, you know, I didn't try different ones from them. I just bought one pen, and I can't remember the model number, but
was it a $5 or $20 pen or something?
Yeah, well, it was about a $20 pen or $25 pen. Yeah. So, and I understand, but I don't judge all the Indian pens like that. And I'll explain a little bit about what I do for a living. I sell tents for a living. I work for a company that sells clear span, which are structure tents. They're made in China. They're part owners of our company, so we're not buying stuff from China and just selling it. They actually just manufacture it. They're the largest tent makers in China. But I get a lot of people saying, well, you're buying stuff from China, it's got to be cheap. Well, there is cheap China, there is cheap Indian, there are cheaply made stuff everywhere. Yep. But there's also quality China, there's quality India, there's quality. So, you know, you can't judge based upon one thing and make a broad sweeping judgment about the quality of a pen or its products over in a country. You know, you say they got a bad rap, but because they probably didn't want to spend more than $20 on a pen. Yeah. And that's why they assume that all of them are like that. So, you know, I think you do a great job of promoting these small manufacturers like Heron and like some of these other ones that you've really been a champion for these small pen makers. Jim Hines is one. Yeah, you're his biggest cheerleader, and for good reason. He's a great pen maker.
Great guy, yeah. And then there was the moonwalk pen.
That was absolutely.
Cool.
How unique!
Awesome pen. Yeah.
Extremely awesome. Yeah. So yeah, you do a great job. And you know what? We got to give a little love to Mr. Announcer, because you know what? He's like, you're like the Johnny Carson. He's the Ed McMahon. You know, he's maybe he's not as drunk as Ed McMahon, but you know, he helps you a lot, I'm sure, and we're grateful for his assistance. But you do a great job, Larry, and I think what we're here for is to try to expand this out and get these people to join us on these Zooms, to have their input and get their ideas, and it makes us all better in the end.
You know, people say, well, the reason why I can't make it is the time zone, and I dig it. I get that. But you know, we have people like Mega. How do you pronounce her name?
Maya from Wales. We have Norm from Australia.
Yeah, we got her.
Patsy from Australia as well. It just happens to be at a different time for them.
But they have to stay up or get up, and they love pen so much, and I really thank everybody for that support. That they come on and we all have a blast. I know we're sleepy and tired and blah blah blah, but we have such a blast coming together. You can feel the love. I mean, you know, you come on here to have a good time, not to be well, hi, I'm Larry, and I'm going to talk about a pen. And well, it's a nice pen, and I just bought it, and I spent $500, and it's this and that. And what kind of pen did you say? No, I don't
Well,
do that kind of jazz. No,
I know, but there are different, we got to admit that there are different personalities, and there are people like that join, and they're okay to join. We don't mind if you're like that. Join in and just enjoy what's going on. And if you want to be like that, that's okay.
we like
We don't mind if they want to be like that. We're going to be
we like
crazy,
that.
and you're going to be crazy all the time, and I'm going to be like I am as well. Yeah, it won't hurt. It won't. But that I was kind of curious, that one that you called it the urine pen. What the hell? If I don't like it, am I pissed off? I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
that's a
it's
whole.
better to be pissed off than pissed on, right? Right? Isn't that what they
Good,
used to say?
good
Right? Right?
point. Good point.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have called it
But
something else.
they look like they look like a Lamy Safari.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are, that's another whole subject we could spend an hour or two on.
That would be
Is
another one.
the
Yeah.
copies and the make, like the Moon Man series of pens that are identical to pens that are already out there. Is that ethical or logical? And what do you feel about that? So that's part of the stuff we talk about on Zooms. You can bring up, that's the nice thing about the Zooms, or you can talk about anything on it. There's no subject that we avoid. I mean, sometimes we even veer off of pens and paper and ink, but yeah, whatever you're feeling about is good. I think it's important that your input when you're on our Zooms with Larry and I. When I shut this trap, Larry's not talking. We want you to join in. We want you to chime in and let us know what's going on for you.
Now I do also talk about ballpoint pens, mechanical pencils,
Yeah.
Different papers, notebooks, journals. Like Pen Boutique has this beautiful tin case, leather yak pen case. You can pick up for $70. It's gorgeous. It's a great pen case. I mean, it's great. But people go out and spend $249, $189 for a 10 slot pen case. The name, they like the name, For me, I don't get it, but that's them. That's cool. That's their money. They spend it the way they want. But for me, I want to find what I can afford, the best deal that's going to protect my pens, because my pen, I don't want them ruined. Would you, Tony?
No. I'm very, very, very careful with myself. Well, the reason why is because I spend a lot of money on them.
Yeah.
And I'm very careful about them. You want to keep them in a protective drawer. You want to keep them in a protective case. And yes, ultimately the case is there to protect your stuff. And it doesn't matter whether it's fancy or not. It's like a car. The cheapest beater car will get you from A to B, just like the most expensive car. Of course, there's different, one's more luxurious, but yet ultimately in the end, does that matter to you? If it does, you buy the expensive car. If it doesn't, you buy the cheap car. The same way with pens. If it doesn't matter to you, I've said this before in a Zoom, Larry. I have got pens that are $5 or $10. I write with, no problem. I have no problem with it. It's not like I'm a snob. Then I've got my pen that costs $1,000 and I write with it. The thing is that they all have their own character. I've tried to explain this. It may not make sense to anybody that does not in the fountain pen thing. But when I'm writing, you could close your eye. I can close my eyes. Hand me one of my pens. I'll tell you which pen it is, because they all have their own character, the way they feel in the hand. They're all different. Yeah, do they do the same identical? Yes, they put a line of ink on the paper, identical. I mean, I've told you, if you show, I can take 10 of my pens, write a page of script, show it to you, and say, which pen wrote that? Right. You can't tell.
Right.
They're all monolines. You can tell if it has some flex to it and it has a little character if you choose to write that way. But if you're a monolith, if I do monoline, I don't do any flex writing except with my dip pen. With a dip pen, I'll flex all day long. But with my fountain pens, as you well know, I never flex. I just don't. That's not me. I don't like it. And I don't like doing it personally. So, I mean, I enjoy it when I get a letter and they've got beautiful handwriting and script and all that. That's fine with the flex, but I don't do it. And because I don't trust myself to not ruin one of my fountain pens. That's why I don't do it. But they all look the same when you're writing a monoline. They've got either a fine line or medium or broad line, but they're all going to do the same thing. So what makes them different for me? Why do I have so many? Is because they are different in my hand, and they somehow I sense something different inside when I'm writing with each one. I hope that clarifies why I do it. But
now let me add this. You're going to hear reviewers give their comments on pens. A lot of them will say the same thing. I may say something different, but that's me. But remember, we all are different. And the best way for you to really know if that pen is going to be for you is go to a pen show and actually get your hands on that pen and test it to see if you like the pen, if it's what you thought it was going to be or not. It's your money. Spend it wisely. I mean, come on now. But if you can't get to a pen show, then I would listen to as many as reviews you can, and then you're going to have to pick out which one you think is going to be the best bid for you. You know, I mean, it's like, let me tell you, okay, when I did the review on the, not the Zoom, but it was the music nib, right? Uh, People send me their pens, and they were nice Zoom nibs. I liked them, but still wasn't my cup of tea.
right.
And then when I went to buy one, I was told, no name mentioned, Larry, don't buy that pen. You're not going to like it. It's not worth it. So I bought the Noodler's music nib pen.
That triple tail? Is that?
Yeah, I love it. For me,
Yeah.
the music nib pen for me works great.
Yeah.
And I love it so much, I bought that new one. They have the triple tail, the Noodler's triple
Yeah.
tail. That's a dream, you know, as well. So, but that's me. And then people ask, well, where do you buy your pens from? How do you afford all this? Well, I live on my Social Security, so I have to save money. It may take me months, years for high-end and sell pens to get that. No, nobody sends me money on my. Do I have pay, what do I have? Not PayPal, but I have that. What do you call it?
Patreon.
Yeah,
Patreon.
yeah. I don't get much of nothing. I mean, like, you can check it if you want. I think I got $4.98, and it's wow. Okay. So anyway, so no, so when I buy pens, I want to support as many pen sellers as I can. So, you know, a good friend of mine is Frank from Federalist Pens and Papers.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is a sweetheart. Frank and Mark, who I call Marky, they're just great. Frank is a one-man show, and you know, I want to help him all I possibly can, and I will help you, Frank. All you have to do is say, Larry, help. I'm there for you. Anybody can do that. And then another a person I love is uh, Lena from Pen Boutique. She's a magnificent lady. Pen Boutique rocks. I mean, incredible service as well. They're all, and then you have Jim Hines Custom Pens. You know,
Yeah.
he's an incredible guy. You got Anderson Pens. You know, you got
Mhm.
Brian and Lisa, two amazing people. You know, I mean, meet them at the pen show. You got Kevin from Fountain Pen Revolution, amazing man, a great guy. Just and Kevin's been there for me from day one. He has
Right.
helped me from day one. I'm telling you, he's Johnny on the spot. And thank you, Kevin. And then you have is it Tom from Gold Spot Pens, and you have Pen Chalet. They're good people. And there's some pins.
Of course, Goulet was started. He started me down the path. You know, with the fountain pen, the YouTube fountain pen video. I was not really going to do fountain pens. Honest to God, my brother showed me a beautiful Waterman Edson pen, and he brought it into where I was working, and he said, "What do you think about this pen?" And I said, "Oh, it's nice, but you know, I've got a rollerball here that works perfectly. Why I don't want to become Ben Franklin. What do you think I'm trying to write like an old, 200 years ago?" I had no idea, and so I really blew it off, honestly. And I decided, hey, I want to try to improve my handwriting somehow. I've always loved to write, and I just happened to be watching YouTube for some reason, a Fountain Pen 101 by Brian Goulet. showed up, and I watched it, and I don't know why, but I thought, well, maybe I'll buy me a little fountain pen. I don't know. And sure enough, I went right down the rabbit hole. So I blame Brian Goulet for starting me down the path. Like I think he's done a lot of people. But it's those brick and mortar stores for those people lucky enough to have them in their city. We've got one here in Kansas City. That's where our local pen group meetup is, right there next to the store. And I've tried to buy from them, try to buy from Frank, and try to buy from all the vendors.
Yeah,
now there are times when we buy from eBay sellers, but I gotta remind you, those are vendors too.
Yeah,
they're vendors as well. So they may have their own store, like Frank, where they'll have their store as their
Italian pens. Yeah,
Italian pens and those kind of places. So we try to get because we're limited on funds, we try to get the best deal. But but you need to, trying to support these vendors, like you mentioned, the Van Esses and the Andersons and all these companies. That's what they do. And if we don't support them, they'll disappear, just like these brick and mortar stores are doing. There's one by one, they're starting to disappear. So they've got like Atlas in Chicago's one that's kind of got Drum Ghouls down there in Houston. And and then of course Yost Applebaum just came over to US. So there are a lot of good pen stores across the country, but they're, if you don't support them, they're going to disappear. And
a little bit on Applebaum real quick. I've been doing business with Yost Applebaum for many years now. And again, this gentleman has been there for me. I mean, sometimes he'll help me out, and I didn't buy nothing. I said, I don't have that to fix my pen with. He said, Larry, I'm going to send you something to fix that. And he'll do that. Really. I mean,
he's very
fantastic man. I mean, Applebaum, you can say what you want, but I love the guy. I mean, he's first class. All the people I mentioned are first class.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm hoping that you can get him on a Zoom at some point.
It's my fault why he hadn't been on.
He just had a baby. His wife just had a baby. So, but he's really, I can listen to his accent all day long. I kind of poked fun at it when you did the top tweet pens, but I think he's wonderful. Really, I do.
Another one that I like to mention is Chris, Captain Chris, former Army officer, did tour in Iraq. Lockby, him and his team have come up with the Lockby journals and pen cases.
Oh, right.
They're affordable, they're cool, they're awesome, great paper. In fact, I've ordered some more journals from him. Just great. People think just because I get sent a journal to review that they're just going to keep sending me stuff to refill it. It doesn't work that way, folks.
No.
Yeah, you have to buy the stuff. My God, once you run out, you can't expect just here. Now, if it's new, I expect if I'm going to review it, because I've got to put my work and time in it. Sometimes I have to send it back. That's hard to do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, man, I've been there, done that. Oh, I didn't want to send it back. Like once Frank sent me a pen from Federal Dispense and paper, forgot what it was. And then I was going to send it back, right? And I got to review it. Oh, dadgummit it. I end up buying it. That's a drag. Of course, Frank was laughing.
Well,
I hate that.
I couldn't do it. No, honestly, if I were doing reviews and they're sending me pens, I don't know that I would have the ability to send some of it back. I'd go, I really do like this. I think I'm going to keep it. My penultimate Dave, I talk to him every day. By the way, Dave Burrows is his name. And Dave and I literally talk every day. He'll call me on that and we'll talk about pens and stuff. And your name comes up quite a bit with Dave. He always talks about Larry. And we even came up with a Larry dictionary, because we know how you are with words. When you call it Monta Blanca, that was a Larry word right there instead of Mont Blanc. And it doesn't matter, but we laughed because we knew how you are with that stuff. But Larry, but Dave, he has the same issue. Like, he would get pens for review and he'd say, I ended up buying it. So it's hard to send the stuff back when you really find out you love it.
Well, when you talk to Dave next time, Larry, tell me to give you what? Something very special. What? A big kiss. Right
But
on
we know, hey, we know who that really came from.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do now, baby. It's a personal thing to Tony. I get. Yeah.
Okay.
Woo! And that's for
Woo.
Dave too. Tell Dave that's
Yeah, well, he knows what we're talking about. He
that's the
knows.
thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all.
yeah, absolutely.
That's all good. So anyway, yeah, I love all these dealers really, and I don't want any of them to close down. My God,
Right.
if anything happened to Anderson pens or
Oh wow.
Federalist pens,
Yeah, I can't
my heart
imagine.
would bleed. I mean, it would be a
Yeah.
disaster. Apple, but any of them, it just fine. A little
Well,
bit on fountain pen revolution. Pens are made in India, but they're made from Kevin's specifications and
right.
the way he wants them made now. And
Because Kevin's here in the States, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And but they're made in India, and
Right.
Kevin's here in what, Plano?
Plano.
Yeah, Plano. I've been to his shop before. Well, he has a little office, and it's open not all the time, but people can come there when he's open. But he's mainly online, and he's up this game. He's got a lot of nice stuff. I'm telling you. And
Yeah.
now,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
he's
Absolutely.
also into uh, uh, pilot pens, Twisbees, and paper and inks, and you name. You need to check out Fountain Pen Revolution. It got some good stuff and affordable. But anyway, so his game has stepped up a whole lot, a whole lot. Jim Hines' game has really stepped up. Mr. Hines is putting the resin to the machines, baby, and rock and rolling it. Shh. And that's a cool thing.
Yeah, he just recently won an award, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, didn't he win the award for
I
the
thought he was up for
artistic award?
nomination.
Huh?
I thought he was up for nomination.
Well, I thought he had.
Did he win it?
Yeah, I thought he did, but man, I might be wrong.
He could have. I don't know. My memory's so bad.
Yeah.
I don't even know what day it is. Okay.
Well, all I know is that yes, you're absolutely right. He's been recognized. Let's put it this way, for his quality and his craftsmanship. He's really been.
And for real, if you want a quality made pen, Jim Hines is your man. Now let me tell you this: if you order a pen and you think you're going to have it in a week or two, not going to happen.
No.
It's going to take up to about maybe 6 months for him to get to it and get it done, because he's got other pens to make, and it takes time to make a pen. It doesn't just puff.
No, I think it's any good quality pen makers already backed up, and he's one of them. But the thing is, when you order a pen like that, if it comes in a week or two, it probably wasn't a hard pen to make, and it was. And the guy's got nothing but time. That means he's not selling lots of pens. So and plus, most people that are ordering pens have other pens to write with. I had to send off a pen for repair at one point, and they said it's going to take a couple months, and I thought, then I looked around. I had 100 other pens I could write with. I forgot all about it, and then eventually it comes back. So we sometimes don't have patience. We want it instant gratification, but in a case like that, you want it to be done right. And if he's a busy guy, it's because he's got lots of work. Mark Backus is another one. He's that nibmeister, the nib grinder. And if you want work done with him, he's behind because he's got so many people going to him.
Guy.
Yeah.
Now let me say one person that we have failed to mention, and I apologize. Troy Laplante, magnificent guy. Yeah. Troy, I love you, my brother. Love you. Troy is seriously. I mean, Troy knows his stuff. Troy is more of a vintage man too.
Yeah,
he knows his stuff. Yeah, he makes me look like Play-Doh. I'm not big into vintage, but that's me. I do like certain vintage pens, but not all. Okay, that's just me, I guess. And then what's really weird. Some of the vintage pens I like are the little $5 ones that I used in school. Why? Because I used them in school when I was a kid. Memories. I connect with that.
Memories.
Yeah. So I connect with it. But Troy does a magnificent job in the story. This guy's got his stuff together, so amen for you, Troy. Don't forget me. Send me a lot of love on your end. I need it, baby. If I'm not in the insane asylum. Yeah.
Troy's a class human being, and he's got a great family. He's got his son. That's what's impressive to me. He's got his son in the fountain pens at a young age, and which is really rare. and his son's got the bug and passion. Well, because his dad does. Let's face it, we all kind of wanted to do what our dads did, or at some point maybe you want to, whatever they're doing, you want to be part of it because you want to be like your dad in some cases. And in his case, he's got the bug and he's buying pens on his own. Got his own money and buying, and he's a cute kid. It's kind of fun to see that happening with young kids.
I'm thinking about, I've got a new young man that joined my fountain pen group today. What was his name? Daniel?
Daniel.
Daniel. He's 15 years old, into fountain pens. And we've talked a little bit today. So I was glad to see fresh, new, young blood joining.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
This is what's going to keep the pens going. Once we're gone, they need somebody to fill our shoes, right? So it always takes
Larry, it is going to be it's going to be a struggle, and a part of it is going to be because, well, like the typewriter is no longer a thing anymore.
Right.
Typewriter, because now the computers. But the difference is the typewriter was a machine that transferred the letters onto to a paper, but they were still typed. It was already set. So there's no expression in a typewriter.
Right.
And that's the reason why I think pens will have ability to continue on, and people will continue to use them. And I see people that are doing journaling and people, younger people that are doing journaling, and the point is that through a pen you express your soul and it goes onto that paper. It's part of your expressing your thoughts and the stuff, and it goes on the paper. It means a little bit more than typing a key. And I think that's gonna keep the pen thing alive. It may not be as popular as it was back in the 40s and 30s and 50s, when it was people, that's all they did was write.
Right.
But that's why I am a big letter writer, because it gives me that opportunity to use my pens. I do a little journaling, not as much as you, probably not as much as most people. But I don't, and that's why I don't buy a lot of notebooks. I really don't buy notebooks anymore, other than I've got basic journal, legacy journal. That's it. I don't do a lot of journal writing, but I do a lot of letter writing, Larry, and it gives me that opportunity to use my pens.
Correct. Now, I do get a lot of pens from one person which wants to remain anonymous.
Yeah.
So he sends me, he goes through his pen collection because he gets over 100 of them, and
Wow.
some are brand new. And so what I do with these, like when I go to Starbucks out and about, and I'll see some young folks, I'll ask them, do you know what a fountain pen is? They say, no, what is it? Oh, wow, okay. So I tell them, wow, really? And they're shocked, or they'll ask me, what are you using to write with? This is a fountain pen. Well, not a ballpoint? No, not a show. So I give them a pen, but I want to make sure I have a cartridge of ink put in it. And then I let them know where they can get refills for this, because they're going to run out, right? So I pass all these pens on, and there's sometimes I did one year, I sent a whole bunch to an elementary school for, I think, 4th graders, somewhere back there. But then I have silent giveaways that nothing about. I'll just find somebody that's been on my channel and send them a pen. No, it's not high-end pen, but it's a cool pen. It's a free pen. It's something that way you can say, like 92 Gen How. What does it even write?
Yeah, you're planting. You're like Johnny Appleseed with fountain pens.
And it's fun for me. I like to give them away.
It is.
Yeah. So now let's talk about Mr. Announcer a little bit. People really get PO at me because they have yet to see what he looks like.
Well, you're cutting off the top of your head there, Larry, when you adjusted the thing.
They say what? They say.
There you go.
Why don't you let him show what he looks like? What are you hiding? Why does he want to be seen? And they just go nuts. I said, well, because I don't want to show him. And he's all in a hat and mask, and or he's right here beside me, and
I'm better looking than him.